I may have just picked the worst time to make this video because my mother and father-in-law just got here for New Year's Day dinner, which we'll be having here shortly, but it is January 1st, so it is appropriate for that. And it's also appropriate to be making this particular video because I want to talk about my goals for 2023, and I just feel like I need to get it out there. So I'm doing it now, and hopefully being able to get this done before there's too much racket in the house and before I get called up for dinner. So let's hope for the best here. So 2023 is obviously upon us, and the new year is always a great time to come up with the things that you want to do for the next year, your goals, your resolutions. It's also a good time for me because it's just a few days after my birthday. I just turned 38 on December 28th, and I use this time of the year to kind of come up with who I want to become, where do I want to go, what do I want to be, all of these things. And I made a little bit of a list here on what I want to do, not only personally, but also professionally. And I thought I would share that here to not only put it out there for myself, but also maybe to get you thinking about where you want to go and what you want to do. So let's just jump into this with the resolution that I'm sure pretty much everyone that's watching this or listening to this probably has, especially if you're an adult. And that is to get in shape. That is everyone's New Year resolution. You all want to, lose some weight or whatever, get stronger. And this was the same goal that I had last year. The interesting thing is last year, actually did it. Thanks to Cody. Towards the end of last year, once she was no longer working, we decided that we would get a gym membership together, and we started going there consistently each week, and I absolutely loved it. It was the best thing that I could have done for myself last year, and the thing that I loved the most because I was seeing results. Nothing felt better than going there, and the first time you go, you can do this much weight on a machine, for example, and then a few months later, you realize that that's lightweight. You can do much better, and man, I love those improvements. I love the consistency of doing that. I love having a partner to go there with me. It's very hard sometimes to do things on your own, but when you have somebody that's in your corner backing you up and you can do that for each other, man, it makes things so much better. I want to do more of that this year, of course, but I'm taking that to the next level too, because there's another element of being fit, and that is nutrition that I really didn't do a whole lot with last year. I was still getting into the bad stuff, like drinking soda, eating salty snacks. I've got a wife that not only encouraged me to go to the gym, but she also makes Christmas cookies. I ate a bunch of those. So this year we got to focus more on nutrition because that's a big part of it. I'm trying to think of my body as a machine, and what do I want to fuel that machine with? What are the things that are going into it? And I need to think about the nutrients and the vitamins and all the things that are going into making this a well-running machine that then I can go to the gym with and do even better. So that's going to be a big thing for me, and I think I'm going to be sharing some of that here because I know some people kind of follow along with my journey, and I've been lucky enough to inspire a few people here and there to also start getting into stuff like this, and maybe I can share what I'm doing, and if that can be helpful to someone out there, that is really awesome. And that's kind of one of my big goals for this year too. And this kind of leans more in the professional side of things. I really want to give as much of myself as I possibly can with no expectation of getting anything in return. I just want to be out there and give you guys anything that I can, if I can be of any assistance to you, with nothing, like I'm never going to try to sell you on anything. I'm never going to ask anything of you other than just to enjoy what I put out there. Another thing I want to do is read more books, specifically learning how to speak. That would be good. But now I want to do like self-help books. I want to learn about other people's situations in life and the things they've been through. So maybe some biographies, autobiographies, things that can help me in my life, whether it be getting more organized, which is obviously probably going to be a never-ending goal for me with all the things that I own. But I just want to find ways that I can introduce new things into my brain. And it may not even be nonfiction. It could be fiction as well. But anything that I can put into my brain to start coming up with new ideas and new thoughts could be beneficial for me on the creative side of things, because you just never know what you can come up with, especially when you're doing a podcast each week where it's like an audio journal. If I can have things that I read that I can share with people and give the abbreviated version of that, or my biggest takeaway, or something that like an epiphany that I had, I think that could be very useful. So me reading a book could actually benefit more than just me. So I'm thinking of like the bigger scale and the bigger scope of things. So I definitely want to read more. I obviously already listen to a lot of podcasts, but I feel like reading it opens you up a whole lot more. So I want to do that. And I have a lot of things that I can work on while I like listen to audiobooks. And obviously the gym's always a great place to listen to things too. So that's going to be a lot of what I do and like the personal side of things. There's probably going to be a lot more goals that come along in that regard, but that's kind of like my main things that I want to do. As far as the professional side of things, this is kind of where most of this is going, because it's such a big part of my life is being a content creator. And obviously in 2023, I want to keep doing that. It's not only my hobby, my passion, it's also my job. So that becomes a big part of things. I sometimes think about people that just, you go to work at a regular job. Maybe your goal is to get a raise or to get a promotion or to find a better job. But for me, it's like being self-employed. You got to think about all these different things and how you want to do what you're doing and where you're going to focus your time and your attention. And I think I have an idea of where I want to go. So I'll share that now with you, because that's probably the part that you care about the most. You don't care that I'm going to read books unless you listen to the podcast, which I encourage you to do, because it's a lot like this. In fact, some of you probably think that I uploaded this to the wrong channel, but this should be on Greg's World, because this is what we do. And speaking of what we do, No Zero Days. It's going to continue in 2023. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback on that. If you don't know what No Zero Days is, it's essentially thinking of each day as an opportunity to work towards your goals, which is what this is about, whether that be personally or professionally. And I document a little of that each day, and then I turn several days or up to a week of that into like a compilation video of all the things that I did and worked on. And it's just like keeping me accountable and also showing that there are some results for all the things that I put my time into. Also capturing moments that I wouldn't have captured otherwise, like just putting time into recording video, I think is a good thing, because it's so easy to not do that. But if I focus on like, okay, what today can I do that would be interesting enough to share with the world? If you ask yourself that, like, it's very easy to sit around and do nothing, right? But who wants to watch you sit around and do nothing? If I create something, or if I build something, or I make something, that's fun to share. And it creates like this little life diary that I can look back on someday and be like, oh, that was a great part of my life. That was a great time that I had. Look at Clark, man. Look how old he was. Look at the things we were doing. Look how things were then. Look how things are now. Hopefully always getting better. That's what No Zero Days is. It's a concept in hiking where you say you're walking days and days on a trail. It's a day that you just sit down and you take a break, which in some cases breaks are necessary. But in life, I'm trying not to have any 0 days. I always want a day to be progress that's made. I want to get a little bit further on the trail. There's going to be some travel videos this year. We've got several trips planned, and I love making travel videos. So I'm trying to do my best to document those things so I can share those with you as well. I love making RC videos, and I know you guys love those as well. At least there's a certain audience on here. I don't know if it's the audience is listening to this, but there's an audience that loves RC videos, and I find making RC videos is like my favorite thing to do. It's just so much fun, and Clark loves it too. And I have like an idea for like a series we can do with miscellaneous RCs that would be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to do a poll, or maybe just like do a community post, and you can answer it in the comments of this if you're still with me. What kind of content would you like to see out of this channel in particular in 2023? What do you want to see the most? I know a lot of you are probably just going to say, well, whatever you want to make, Greg. I'm just down for the ride. Whatever you're into, I want to be along. I want to be a fly on the wall of whatever's happening in your life, and I think that's pretty cool. I just hope that I can keep it interesting enough that you want to do that with us, because it's hard making vlog content, and I don't do crazy stuff. I don't go over the top. It's just like, if it's a day in my life that I'm building a Lego set and we go to the gym, that's what my day is, and I document that. And it's an honor that there's people that care enough about us that want to watch that, or whatever else that we get into. You guys, regardless of what it is, I seem to always have an audience with whatever I do, and I think that's pretty darn cool. And I'm so thankful, because there's some people that kind of get stuck in making a particular type of content, and then your audience finds you through that, and you have to feel like you keep making that same thing, and that's how people get burnt out. That's why people quit YouTube, because they don't want to do that anymore. But if you just share who you are authentically and you share what you're doing, regardless of what that is, it's very hard to get sick of that, because it'd be like getting sick of living, right? So I want to do that, but I am curious from you, on this channel in particular, what would you like to see in this coming year? Because I'm wide open. We can do anything. That's another big thing of this. And I don't know whether I should have put this on like the personal side of things, professional, but I have a goal to remind myself that every day is a gift and tomorrow's not guaranteed. So you got to live your days like that. That's the no 0 days, and that combined, I feel like, puts me on a place to be very productive with my life. But what I do with that time is completely open, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, whatever that is. If there's some type of thing that you've seen us do that you'd like to see more of, that's great. If there's something new, I'm always up for trying new things, and that could even be a series too. I'm curious to see what people have to say, because we've got a wide audience here. That's the very hard thing about this channel. I don't know who I'm talking to exactly. There's lots of kids that watch our content that love the Clarkman stuff. There's people my age that watch our videos because they're kind of more on my side of things. And we got a whole range of people in between. I want to give you what you want. I just don't know what that is. I don't know who you are or what you want, but hopefully I can find a way to give that to you. But it'd be helpful if you help me figure out what that is. On the Brickitect side of things, if you didn't know, Brickitect is my Lego channel. That's where I have somehow lucked into making Lego videos as a career, something that I never thought as a child would ever be possible. Like everyone, maybe not everyone, but I had this dream of being a Lego designer. And I always say to people, like, this Lego YouTube thing is a better job than being a Lego designer, in my opinion. It's way less pressure. Like, it'd be really cool designing a Lego set that someday someone would build and like you'd be acknowledged as the person that made that. But I just think of the insane amount of pressure that would be on you to make that thing and to make it great. Being a Lego YouTuber, I treat that very much like my vlog channel, where it's just whatever I'm into that day. I don't make a particular type of video. I just share what I'm up to, and that's what makes it special, because it's a more personal side of thing. And I share that with my son too. Clark, man, you might know him. That's a really fun element of it for me, and really makes the hobby special as well. But this year I plan to go all in with Lego. Like, I picture the Lego thing, as hard as it is, like making vlog content that's interesting for people to watch. And, you know, there's a future that I foresee that maybe once Clark Man's grown up and we're done doing all the family stuff for the most part, I don't know how many people are going to watch 50-year-old Greg doing whatever it is that he does during the day. You know, I don't know if that's a future, but Lego gives me something to focus on. As wide open as Greg's world is and the content that I make here, the Brickitect thing is Lego focused. I can do whatever I want around that, but it gives us something to bond over. The people that find it like they have an interest in Lego, but then they find like this whole world that exists outside of Lego in our videos. And this year, I really want to take the Lego side of things very seriously. Like, I want this Lego thing to be my thing as I get older. I want to be a 50-year-old Greg that still enjoys creating his own Lego creations, because this whole, like, the Lego side of things scratches all the itches. It gets the creative side of things where I get to build and I get to make videos, which I love. I get to edit. I get to share my thoughts on things. I get to do live streams, which I love to do live streams. And it would be one thing if I just sat here and this was live and we just talked about this, that, and whatever. But the Lego thing gives us something to kind of focus on, like I'm actively working on something while also just having a conversation like this. And that's what I really enjoy about that. I also plan to do some YouTube shorts with like some highlights from the live streams, because you can chop that up and make some fun stuff out of it. There's always something funny that happens or something that's worth sharing in a very short form. I plan to do like more photo posts. Like, I just want to almost like create like a checklist for myself. Like, each day, these are the things that I want to do. And I want to take the Lego channel completely to the next level. That's not all, says Billy Mays. I also have a gaming channel, and that's the channel that, like, I talk about balancing all these plates, you know, like I have all these plates in my hand that I'm trying to keep up. And the gaming channel is the one that sometimes gets neglected the most. But what I'm going to try to do there is each day, maybe like during the weekday, find a little bit of time that I can carve out to live stream some video games. That's like not a business by any means. It's just kind of like my relaxation type thing, something that I like to do for fun. But the only way that I can justify doing something for fun is if I'm creating content around it. So if I can entertain a few people while I play video games, I think that'd be great. And again, those live streams, sometimes things happen, they can be chopped into videos. And if I can make a little bit of money to cover the cost of gaming each year, like to cover my PlayStation Plus subscription and my Xbox Game Pass subscription and whatever games I get, that to me is a success. Like, if you can make money with your hobby, big wins. So I'm going to be doing more of that this year. Again, I'm going to try to be like, okay, if I do a Lego live stream from, say, like, this is hypothetical, like say 11 to 12, let's take 12 to 1 and let's play some games. And I can maybe funnel some of those people that watch the Lego stuff, because there's way more of those people than gaming people. I see if I can funnel them over to hang out with me there, and we'll make a thing out of it. So it's kind of a lower priority for me. Like, the gaming thing never popped off this year, I wouldn't be upset about it. Like, if I couldn't find the time to do that because I'm doing so many other things that are interesting to the Greg's World audience, Brickitect audiences, because those are the people that there's a lot of them, and those are the people that I need to keep happy with content. That would be okay with me. It's just like one of those wishes that I have. One thing that I will not negotiate on, though, is the Greg's World podcast, which, again, this is the Greg's World podcast, essentially. So if you've made it this far in this, you would love that channel. I do a podcast, and they used to be here on this channel. They used to be on Brickitect. As time goes by, I've moved things and I've changed things, but the Greg's World podcast is just my audio journal. I do it once a week. And what I'd like to commit to in 2023, even with the travel plans that we have coming up, I like to make 52 episodes. One every single week, talking about all the things that I did that week, some thoughts that I've had, maybe books that I've read, movies that I've watched, games that I've played, things that I've worked on, epiphanies that I've had, YouTube rabbit holes that I've gone down. I'm going to try to create almost like a template each week of all these different things and then just kind of run down through and make that like my single show on that channel every single week. I've considered doing the live episode where we just kind of vibe and talk about stuff, but I feel like I kind of do that on my Lego channel. So that will still exist on the Greg's World podcast channel, which again is, all these are linked down below. If there's anything that I talked about here that you're just like excited for, like you're like, oh, I need that in my life. What's this Lego thing you do? I just noticed the light's really coming in on me here. Oh, the angels have blessed me in 2023. I'll be doing that. No negotiations on that. If we travel, I'm going to try to record an episode a little bit in advance, or maybe I'll do one on the road where it'll just be an audio only thing and I'll drop that talking about what we're doing. But that's it. That's like all my professional goals. Again, I'm trying to do a lot of things at once. I have productivity on my mind. I want to create the best thing that I can. I just want to go all in. I want to give as much of myself as I can, just like I said, with no expectation of anything in return, because I believe that the more you give, the more you get. And if I create a lot of content out there, if I create live streams, if I create all this stuff that I want to make, the money will come as a certificate of appreciation. But I don't want it to come directly from people. I want it to come from YouTube advertisers. I don't want people to pay me for this. I want it to be a thing where you enjoy the video, there was an ad that played, okay, I get a fraction of a penny off that. But if enough people do that, it turns into some decent money, and then I can make this my thing going forward in the future. Every time a year comes up, I always just think like, you know what? If that's the last year that I had last year where things were good and I got to do this, that's good enough for me. But now every time a year starts, I'm like, man, if I could just get one more year, if I can make this work just this next year, that'd be really awesome. And I fully believe that 2023 is going to be an amazing year for me as a creator. And I'm just so looking forward to it. And I hope you are as well. Again, I'll probably have new goals that come along the way, maybe modifying these ones, things that, you know, this is a fluid thing. This is not set in stone. Times change and ideas do too. And that's honestly what I really wish for this year. I want to come up with as many new things and concepts and epiphanies as I can. And I think that if I follow these plans that I have here, I think that I'll be on the path for that. I'll turn this over to you. Do you have any goals for this coming year? You don't have to put it in a comment. Keep it to yourself if you want to. But whatever this year brings you, try to keep it at the front of your mind. You know, don't just exist in life. Don't just let things happen to you. Think about what you want to do, where you want to go, what you want to become. It could be a whole new person. You could be anything. Professionally, where do you want to go? What do you want to do with that? Do you want to start some type of new hobby this year? Do you want to take something that was a hobby and make it a business? Anything is possible. You just have to do it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it, baby. So welcome to 2023, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this. I know this is a long one that maybe didn't hit with our normal audience, but maybe somebody watched this and they're like, you know what? This is pretty darn cool. I'm going to do something this year, and I hope you do. Report back to me. We'll do an update episode on December 31st, 2023, if I remember, and we can all kind of reminisce about all of the goals that we hit and how awesome this year was. Let's make it that. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in our next video entry, which will be probably very soon, considering I'm going upstairs and filming right now.